storyteller who we can often see on stage at Mesrab, the cultural center in East. I mean, East, what would you call it? Veemkade.
Veemkade,
I feel like we know it. So it doesn't matter. Do you want more?
Yeah, keep going.
He's got just this luscious, beautiful beard. I mean, that's really it. The rest of you can see. And I think you get from the... It's about that deep. And the rest of you can get from the story. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
So that this is really not working, right? I don't have to... Hello? No?
We can hear you.
All right. So, when I first moved to Amsterdam, I worked as a cook. And I worked at this like trendy American-style brunch place. So they would like serve chicken and waffles, and they would play like 1990s hip hop. So you could have like Wu-Tang with your breakfast. Yeah, it was a whole vibe. It was great. And in this kitchen, we sat about maybe 60 to 70 people, but they hired only 2 cooks. There was myself, and then there was my colleague, who had decided that after training me, she wasn't really going to be like a co-worker, she was going to be more like a supervisor, which meant one of us had the responsibility of like doing all of the morning prep, and the other one had the responsibility of being at the bar, sipping an espresso and complaining about her hangover. And I would try to like come up to her and be like, hey, you like want to like help out? Got all this morning prep that needs to get done, like come on, we should go. And she would look at me, and she would cross her arms, and she would say, if you need help, then I guess you aren't tough enough to work here, are you? And I took it. Honestly, I was like, okay, that's reasonable. And for 2 reasons. The first reason is that like when I first came to this country, I was like stereotypically Canadian. So if you look at the word pushover in the dictionary, you can see my face. Like, the second reason is I didn't have time. There's all of this prep that had to get done, and it had to get done quickly enough for service that like I was just like, there's no point fighting with her, I'll just do it myself. And honestly, I was managing for a while. But then it became the summer. And in the summer, brunch becomes like a whole other event. Like on Sunday, when it's sunny, the brunch place opens up, the patio opens up, and we have 20 extra seats. So here I am trying to get ready for service, and I'm whipping up waffle batter. I'm doing my best. I've also got behind me some bacon that's cooking, and I've got a blanching station. So I have a pot of hot water and a bucket of cold water. And I'm trying to do everything I can to get ready for service. And I have to do double orders because I know the patio section is going to be open. The problem is as I'm going through this, the chip machine starts going off behind me. And it's one order after the other. The chip machine is going chit, 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 chit. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I look at my phone. It's 10 in the morning. I'm out of time. And that place is already starting to fill up. So now I've got orders coming in, and I'm looking at these orders, and I'm servicing like hungover millennials on a Sunday. They want a modification on every order. So I'm putting up my orders over here, I'm whipping up a waffle batter over here, I've got bacon grease that I can't clean the grill enough, so now it's starting to smoke. And the water that I had for the blanching station, I knocked it over. And I created for myself like an improvised slip and slide situation from one side to the other side. Now, in the kitchen, we have a term. Anyone who's worked in a kitchen has probably heard this before. It's called shitting the bed. This is when you fuck up so bad, it's like you shit the bed. I didn't do that. I actually set the bed on fire. Like literally, like the grill behind me was starting to create this black smoke that was going out into the service area, so I could hear that people were coughing. And you don't want that experience in the kitchen. It's not. And as well, like the waffle batter that I made it too thin. So when I was making these waffles, it was like they're coming out like melted frisbees, like a Salvador Dali version of a waffle. So I had to do that on the fly as well. And suddenly my colleague comes in. She takes notice. She sees people are coughing. She hears me like knocking over pots and pans. The whole thing's a mess. So she gets to come in the kitchen to confront me. Now, do you think that she comes in the kitchen and says to help? And she like takes responsibility and she's like, I'm gonna help you out here.
Mm-mm.
No, she didn't. She came in the kitchen to yell at me. So here I am. I've got like stuff on fire behind me. I'm slipping and sliding across the floor. I've got waffle batter pouring out of the waffle iron. Like everything is going wrong. But at this stage, I'm actually kind of okay. I'm in this like weird state of nirvana where I'm like, it just can't get any worse. And like, the nice thing about hitting rock bottom is you can only go up. Like, I thought I could fix it. That's what I thought. Then my boss walks in. And this isn't like just the woman who's bossing me around, the woman who's my colleague. This is the actual boss. And he has like 3 kinds of stages. The first stage is like he's yelling at you, but like he's encouraging you. So it's quite nice. The second stage is just like that general like anger that all cooks kind of have. But the third stage I had discovered that day. And it's kind of this like silent but searing rage that he'll only express through his eyes. And this is what's happening as I was looking at him. This is the expression I was seeing. And he just says to me, "What the hell have you done to my kitchen?" Suddenly, the hair stands up on the back of my neck. And in my mind, I'm picturing everything I have to do. It's like a computer. I have all these tasks. I know where I need to click. I know where I need to be. But I'm not moving. And I'm still not moving as my chef grabs me by the collar of my uniform and drags me out of the kitchen. And I don't even move as I see him opening the storage room door and throw me inside. I only started moving once I kind of stumbled into the storage room, and in the center of the storage room there was this pile of potatoes, and that's where I fell. I fell onto these sacks of potatoes, and I just started to cry. And it was like that ugly cry, like that uncontrollable, like you really feel it, like it's destroying your abdomen kind of cry. And I did that for about 3 hours until my chef came in to check up on me. And by that time, I had like taken off my uniform, and I had it like, I'm not even joking, I had it presented to me like this. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I fucked up too bad. I can't go back. So my chef looks at me, and he goes, "Why, Phil? Why do you let her push you around like that? Why don't you toughen up? Why don't you be a man and stand up for yourself?" And I looked at my chef, and I responded, "Okay. I'll be tough. And so I took that advice, and I discovered something about myself. I discovered that on this foundation of polite Canadianness, if I drill down like I'm drilling for oil, I have this reservoir of sassy gay bitch energy that I can rely on. Like, I know you guys look at me and you're like, "Oh, he's such like a well-to-do person. He would never hurt anyone." When she's out, she's out. And she came out. I started to stand my ground. So if she was saying things about me being like worthless in the kitchen, I would throw it back in her face. And it kind of escalated. It kind of got to a stage where I was making comments about her physical appearance, about her weight. And I thought, like, maybe I should dial it back. Let's go back to that Canadianness before. But she started to like me more for it. So here I am, like, legitimately trying to get this woman to just like do her job, and she's like, "Hey, let's go have a beer. You're so fun." And the other thing as well, though, is like kind of like becoming more dominant, kind of like owning this kitchen was working for me. Because I started to feel like I could actually have surrogacy in the kitchen. So when people sent me a modification, I started to send it back. What a revelation. They'd be like, "I want an English breakfast, but I don't want potatoes. I don't want toast. I don't want beans. I don't want bacon." I'm like, "You want an egg. Just order an egg." But it did. It really, really helped me kind of like earn my space in this kitchen. And it lasted up until this one point when I upset another server. And what I had said, I won't repeat because my mom will disown me. But it was a very long stream of words, a stream of not so nice words. And when they left my mouth, this woman went into the bathroom to lock herself in and cry. After that point, I kind of didn't feel like I could do the macho, tough guy cook anymore. Didn't feel like maybe it's the right thing to be yelling at people to get what I want done. So shortly after that, I took off my uniform and I handed it in for real. And I said to myself, I don't ever want to work in a kitchen again. Because my colleague, she was right. I'm not tough. I don't have it in me to work in that kind of environment. But why would I want to?